Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jai Braj Janaranjana Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jai Braj Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari 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 Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Radha Madhava Madhava Radhe Jai Radha Madhava Madhava Radhe Jai Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Jaya Prabhupada Shri Shri Radha Madhav Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are starting a new chapter in a new month. How amazing. The chapter title is Divisions of Creation, and Vidura and Maitreya are continuing their conversation, and they have the continued appetite to know more about creation. So that's why this is called Divisions of Creation. And we will start reading this wonderful narration. And again, actually, the very question that may be coming to our mind as to why they're talking more about creation is being answered here. So I'll read just verse 1 and then verse 2, because verse 2 has a purport. Viduro vacha antarhite bhagavati brahmaloka pitamaha prajas sasarja katidha daihikir manasir vibhu. Shri Vidura said, O great sage, please let me know how Brahma, the grandfather of the planetary inhabitants, created the bodies of the living entities from his own body and mind. After the disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Once again, Sri Vidura said, "O great sage, please let me know how Brahma, the grandfather of the planetary inhabitants, created the bodies of the living entities from his own body and mind after the disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Text 2. Ye cha me bhagavan prishtha tvayartha bhuvittama tan vedasvanupurvena chindhi na sarva samshaya. O greatly learned one, kindly eradicate all of my doubts, and let me know of all that I have inquired from you, from the beginning to the end. Once again, O greatly learned one, kindly eradicate all my doubts, and let me know of all that I have inquired from you, from the beginning to the end. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Purport: Vidura asked all relevant questions of Maitreya, because he knew well that Maitreya was the right person to reply to all the points of his inquiries. One must be confident about the qualifications of his teacher. One should not approach a layman for replies to specific spiritual inquiries. Such inquiries, when replied to with imaginative answers by the teacher, are a program for wasting time. And this purport is so nice. Last sentence again. Such inquiries, when replied to with imaginative answers by the teacher, are a program for wasting time. Om Jnanam Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadahmayam Dati Swapadantikam. O greatly learned one, kindly eradicate all of my doubts and let me know of all that I've inquired from you from the beginning to the end. So here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying how if we have spiritual questions, if we have real questions, spiritual questions, then we should be sure and go to a perfect teacher, a spiritual master, a master. Master can mean like a master, but master can also mean like the master of a subject. Spiritual master means a spiritual master, someone we follow like a master, but a spiritual master also means that they're a master of spirituality. And that's what Krishna says in the Gita, right? Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti tad jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. So Krishna is saying that approach tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti tad jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Approach someone who is a tattvadarshi, someone who has seen the truth, who is a master of spiritual life by their personal experience. They have not just tried to understand it through theoretical knowledge, but they've actually seen the truth. And this is actually our confidence in following Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada was from the spiritual world. Prabhupada knew how to take us back to Krishna. And this is why he gave us a process that he knew works. He gave us a process that will take us back home, back to Godhead. If we follow someone who is giving their best shot, but they haven't actually realized the truth, then our success is not guaranteed. Our success may work or it may not work. This is why people say, right, the ultimate, the hallmark of a tree is its fruit. That they say, well, okay, this person has actually done it, seen it. They've shown it. And that's why we can follow them. So that principle applies also in spiritual life. That a spiritual master, a teacher, can be someone who's actually learned in spiritual life by their personal realization, their personal experience. And we have many such great personalities in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is why we take the Srimad Bhagavatam so seriously. This is why it's such a wonderful literature. Because everyone who's speaking in the Bhagavatam has realized the truth. They're speaking by their personal realization. Just like if we see the section of Prahlad Maharaj when he's speaking to Lord Nrsingadev, then Lord Nrsingadev, after he kills Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj falls at his lotus feet, then Lord Nrsingadev is very pleased, he's calmed down, and then he offers Prahlad Maharaj that you ask me for benedictions. You ask me for whatever you like. And this is a very special moment. The Lord is pleased with his devotees. The devotees prayed to the Lord. And now the whole world is open for Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj is hesitant. But then again, Lord Nrsingadev is telling him, no, you ask me for anything. And then Prahlad Maharaj, he speaks these very famous verses where he tells Lord Nrsingadev that basically, in other words, in my own words, what he's saying is that, my Lord, you are trying to entice me to material things. You can ask me anything. And, his father has just died. The whole kingdom, which at that time Hiranyakashipu was the emperor of the whole world, is at his disposal. Prahlad Maharaj can ask for that. He can ask for everything. So he's saying you're enticing me by these material things. But he says, I have practically seen with my own eyes. My father was a king of heaven. He was a king of the entire universe. And I've practically seen what has happened of him. Though he had everything in this world, this was his destination. This is where it ended. Although he was, the most powerful person in front of the Lord, he was like a little twig. All the great Putans and the great, ministers and kings and all these things, they all have to end. Nothing destroys them, but some little disease in their own body overcomes them. He's the most powerful person, but where has he ended? And you are asking me to ask for the same thing? You're asking me now to ask for that same thing which my father succumbed to, that same material thing that ruined my father, so much material opulence and wealth, didn't give him any pleasure. Furthermore, it made him more proud and arrogant. So how can I, and why should I ask you for something material? Because I have factually realized, by observing the society of demons, I factually realized that although they had all the opulence in the world, they could not be satisfied or pleased by that opulence. They could not find any happiness or pleasure in that opulence. And therefore, I ask you only for pure devotional service. I ask you for a pure devotional service. Just give me that. Give me nothing else. Because that is actually the thing to satisfy the soul. Like last time I was mentioning how salvation, the word salvation comes from the word salve. And when we get salvation, then it's like the salve on a wound, right? We get these wounds and then we need a salve. So actually Krishna consciousness, devotional service is that true salve, that true source of happiness that can bring true happiness in our lives. So Prahlad Maharaj then asked Nrsingadev that my only desire is you kindly give me unalloyed devotional service. unalloyed bhakti at your lotus feet, birth after birth, so I can serve you birth after birth. And if you want to give me something for me, something that even smells of material, it's not material, he says, then kindly liberate my father. Whatever it is, I had some attachment for him. He showed me some affection. He is my father, so you kindly liberate my father. But aside from that, just give me pure devotional service at your lotus feet. And this is why I was thinking these Nrsimha prayers that we sing every day, how deep of a prayer it is. It is not some prayer of protection, that Krishna, please protect that no one breaks into my home at night, which is something that definitely also Lord Nrsimhadev does, is he protects us from all calamities, or rather, he protects us from material misfortune also. However, this prayer to Lord Nrsimhadev is a very deep prayer, that please protect my devotional service. Please protect me from this material existence. Please protect me from falling into this material world and Maya and being attracted to these material things again and again, so that one day I can just serve you. I can just be your unalloyed devotee. Similar example, and in a kind of a maybe less intense way, we have of Dhruva Maharaj. With Dhruva Maharaj, he goes to the forest to seek a kingdom, because he wants this kingdom of his father, and he wants revenge, and he wants things set right for being mistreated and unjustly dealt with by his stepmother and his father. But when he goes and sees the Supreme Lord, when Lord Vishnu appears before him, then all of his desires for material wealth, all of his desires for justice, all of his desires for setting things right vanish. And all he wants is Krishna. He tells Lord Vishnu, I came searching for broken pieces of glass, but now I have found gems. Now I've found gems, and therefore I don't want anything else. So these are the Mahajans who have factually realized the truth, who can give us real spiritual knowledge. These are the Mahajans who are inspiring us.
Hare Krishna. I think we lost Prabhu.
Yeah. I think Mataji, she's there. She can.
Yes, Prabhu, let me check what happened.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, changing screens here. I'm not sure what point I ended. Can anyone tell me where you lost me? Hare Krishna. Can you hear me? Yes.
Prabhu, you were saying Mahajanas.
Okay. So yes, so the Mahajans, they can actually give us real spiritual knowledge, and therefore Mahajana yena gata sapantha. Bhagavatam says we must follow in the footsteps of the Mahajans. But if we don't follow in the footsteps of Mahajans, and we follow a materially motivated spiritual practice, or a devotee with material contamination, then we will also seek material things in exchange or in pursuance of our devotional service. And therefore, Mahajana yena gata sapantha, and also it says how the essence of spiritual life is hidden in the hearts of the Mahatmas. I'm forgetting the Sanskrit for that one. That the Bhagavatam says that actually spiritual life is hidden in the hearts of the Mahatmas. Only when we see it in practice, only when we see it in the life of a devotee in front of us, do we actually understand, oh, this is actually what devotional service means. This is actually how we apply it. And so after that, yes, I was saying that how our whole process is the daily practice of saying no to Maya and saying yes to Krishna, right? Striving for Krishna. And being very eager, desperate almost, for Krishna, and showing this to him by our efforts, by our activities, that though apparently externally we are so comfortable, though we are externally and apparently fine, yet we are going to Krishna and saying that I only want you, I'm not fine. That I just want to surrender myself to you. And that's the whole idea of sadhana bhakti, of devotional service, that we're telling Krishna that I'm materially, it's not just that in material desperation, but we don't want this material thing, right? We don't want, like Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Dhruva Maharaj is saying, though they can do all these things, although I can easily have a kingdom, both of them can easily have a kingdom. The path is free. Krishna's on their side. Krishna's appeared. They're saying, I don't want this. I only want you. And that's, Lord Chaitanya, he's saying, Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam vajagadishaye mama janmani janmanishwari bhavatad bhakti rahaitu chitvai. That I don't want, na dhanam, I don't want wealth. Na janam, I do not want followers. Followers means basically fame, leadership, people following us. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, the opposite sex, people, beautiful women, handsome men. Sundarim kavitam va jagadishaye. Mama janmani janmani share. I only want your devotional service, birth after birth after birth. So the association with a devotee helps us purify the motivation. When we see a devotee, then we realize that what am I wanting and what am I asking for, and is it worth it? Just like in the Chaitanya Charitamrita we are reading, this is so nice. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita we often read how these great devotees, they were so spiritually centered, and their association, reading about them and seeing devotees like this in our real life, remind us of that. Like I was just listening something recently, it just struck me, yes, the passing of Haridas Thakur is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's very nice recordings by Amala Bhakta Prabhu. It's nice listening to those. So in that, Haridas Thakur is telling Lord Chaitanya that I just have one request. I have one desire, and that is that I do not want to see your departure from this world. It will be too unbearable for me. So kindly let me give up my body before you give up your body. So he's asking Lord Chaitanya this benediction. And because he's the Lord's greatest devotee, Lord Chaitanya agrees to it. I mean, he fulfills his desire, which is also quite surprising, because you would think that the Lord would say no, like he may not agree, but he agrees to it. But before he agrees to it, he tells Haridas Thakur that, but what will we do without you? And how can you leave us? And this will be not good. And then Haridas Thakur responds, he says, what loss will it be to this material world if one small insect like me dies? And what loss will it be to you if I give up my body now? And what is so shocking in that entire exchange is Haridas Thakur's humility. That he's Namacharya, he's Namachari Haridas Thakur, he's the Lord's greatest devotee. Lord Chaitanya proclaims this to everyone there, that Haridas Thakur is the greatest devotee. Yet he does not consider himself anything. And then, of course, that exchange is there, we know, where he's gotten so old and he's really feeling, that his purpose is not so important because he's gotten so old, and now he cannot chant his rounds. That now he's feeling, why should I live in this world, because I cannot complete this number of rounds. And at that point, when that happens, then Haridas Thakur tells this to Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya tells Haridas Thakur, he says that now you're old, you do not have to chant the prescribed number of rounds. Why don't you reduce your rounds? And then Haridas Thakur says that, my Lord, please don't say this. Don't give me this instruction. And something very similar happened. When Kadamba Maharaj was giving up his body, then he had cancer, stage 4 cancer. He was lying on his bed. He was so not well. And after that, when he was in so much pain, he was chanting his rounds. And he would chant his 16 rounds. And sometimes it would take him 12 to 14 hours to finish them, because he was in so much pain, he could not finish. Like he would chant and then he would have to rest, and he would chant one bead, and then he would. So his spiritual master, Jayadvaita Maharaj, came and he told him, he said, for you 16 rounds can be equivalent to just 16 beads. You just chant 16 beads and that'll be the same 16 rounds. And Maharaj, Kadamba Maharaj told Jayadvaita Maharaj, he said, please don't give me this instruction. So every instruction of the spiritual master he was fulfilling in his life, and he said, this one, please don't give me this instruction. So through the lives of these devotees, we see what is their level of pure devotion. And this is how wonderful it is. So these are my thoughts on this verse. Thank you very much for your very kind attention. Thank you. Also, it's 8 o'clock. And so I was actually thinking that maybe we can end now and skip questions and answers because I actually have to attend a call now. So I will maybe end just now. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.